There's a small technical fault, so for the late start of the session. So, anyways, we will start the session for the day, right? So, I hope all of you can join the session. So, good evening to all. Let's begin today's session. So, in the previous session, we had discussed until the credit note vouchers. Yes, and from there we have to move on for the new concepts after the credit note vouchers. Yes. Right. So let's begin today's session. Yes. Now, in the previous sessions, we had done until the discussion of credit note, and I want to make sure that is the screen visible to all of you as well as my voice. No issues are there. Yes. So after the credit note, the next voucher which we step in would be stock journal voucher. Now, before we go for the exercise on stock journal voucher, let's discuss what the voucher is about. Okay. Now, here I've given a small explanation for a stock journal voucher. This voucher is used to transfer the goods from one location to another location. The quantity of the stock is the same, but the location or the go down changes. Okay. So, before I begin the session, let's stock journal vouchers. The ones who are not able to log in properly can just re-log in and join the session. Okay, right. So coming to the stock journal voucher, now I'll give a small example how the stock journal voucher would be exercised. Now you have seen Chroma, Girias, E-Zone, and all that, right? So we have one in Jayanagar, the other in JP Nagar, Kormangala, like that. We have different outlets. Yes. Now your family plans to purchase a new TV. Okay. Let's say Philips 42 inches TV. Your family desires to purchase. Now they would visit the Chroma near your house, yes, and they want to purchase Philips TV itself with 42-inch. So when they visit Chroma and they ask for Philips TV 42-inch, let's assume that 42-inch Philips TV is out of stock in Chroma. So, what is the normal answer, usual answer we get from that marketing person? What does he say if stocks are not there? If they have run out of stocks of this particular product or commodity, normally how do they talk to their customers? What is their usual statement? One of you can respond for this. What normally they say if when we go and ask for one particular product and it is running out of stock? Would they say no? showroom. Okay, so he might say that why don't you visit our showroom after a couple of days? Yes. So what happens is, yes. So what would happen is, after a couple of days, your family will visit the showroom again, and then new stocks would have arrived, and then a purchase would be made. Yes. Now what happens is Philips TV 42 inches is running out of stock. Now in a couple of days, would it be possible to place an order from the Philips company, get the stocks to Bangalore? No, it will minimum take at least 15 days, a month or more than that. Yes. Now if he has to have sufficient stocks of Philips TV within a uh, period of 2 to 3 days, then what could he do? So we'll make a small assumption. You would have visited the Chroma outlet in Jayanagar 4 block. Okay. Now the Chroma branch of Jayanagar 4 block is running out of stock, as I told, of Philips TV, 42 inches TV. So what he does is he transfers the stock from the Chroma outlet, let's say of Kormangla. From there he transfers the stock to Jayanagar. So what does he do? He does a stock transfer from one go down to another go down. Here there is no purchase of stock involved. It is only a transfer of stock from one location or from one go down to another go down. That's all. So in the complete Chroma company, in its financial statements, the stock of Philips TV remains the same. Let's assume there are 10 Philips TV of 42 inches, it will remain as 10. But out of 10, probably 4 will be there in Kormangla and 6 will be in January. That's all. So it is 10 itself. That's why I've given here. This voucher is used to transfer the goods from one location to another location. The quantity of the stock remains the same, but the location of the go down changes. Okay, so which means the place of storage changes, but the quantity of the stock remains the same. So that's why we use a stock journal voucher. Now, what is the function key for a stock journal voucher? It is Alt plus F7. Now, how can you keenly remember a stock journal voucher? Now, what is F7? It is a journal voucher, right? Alt F7 would define a stock journal voucher. So there is a small illustration for the same, as there is a shortage of stock in go down 2. So I've told that there are more than one outlet, so there's a transfer of stock from one go down to another go down, right? So here I've given that as there is a shortage of stock in go down 2, the company has transferred Whirlpool washing machines from go down 1 to go down 2 at the same value. Okay, so how can we use this voucher? So let's start. Please log into your companies if you haven't done. Yes. So we'll go to the stock summary first. If you visit the stock summary, now Whirlpool washing machines, what is the stock we are carrying? We're having 10 numbers of Whirlpool washing machines in our godown. Okay. So if you press Alt F1, we have 5 Whirlpool washing machines, and IFP we have 5 washing machines. So both of them we have 5 and 5. So totally we have 10 numbers of Whirlpool, total 10 numbers of washing machines. That's IFP and Whirlpool. Now, coming back to the illustration here, what I've given here, as there is a shortage of stock in go down 2, company has transferred Whirlpool washing machines from go down 1 to go down 2 at the same value, right? So what we can do is, here currently in the go down we are having 5 washing machine. Now what we have to do here is we have to go to the vouchers. Click on vouchers. Now here, press Alt F7. Yes, so this is the stock journal voucher. So if you press Alt F7, you will get the stock journal voucher. And here the voucher screen is completely different. Here you have source, consumption, and at the right hand side you have the destination or the production. Now source is from where the stock items or the commodities would be transferred, and destination is to where it would be transferred. Okay, from where to where. Source, consumption, destination, and production. Now, what are we currently transferring? We are transferring Whirlpool washing machines. So what you have to do is spacebar. Okay, so once you press the spacebar, you have the Whirlpool washing machines. So currently we are having 5 numbers of Whirlpool washing machines. Press enter. Okay. Now spacebar. Again, if you press spacebar, okay, now currently you're able to watch out in the list of locations or of godowns. In the location 2, suppose you have chosen any other location, it will show that in this particular godown or location, the Whirlpool washing machines are stored. So currently in my screen, it is showing as in location 2, I'm having 5 pieces of Whirlpool washing machines. Now, I'll assume that location 1 is running out of stock. Okay, so I will transfer 2 washing machines out of 5 to location 1. So what I'll do is I will press enter on the location where I'm currently having the stock of washing machine. Now how many I've transferred? I've told 2. So in the quantity you have just typed 2. Once you type 2, press enter. So rate will be displayed automatically to take up the current rate, the current purchase rate. Press enter, enter until you come to the destination column. Yes. Now again a space bar. Then again select Whirlpool washing machines. Press space bar again. Now from which godown to which you're transferring, I have told from location 2 to location 1 it will be transferred. Okay. So I will choose location 1. Now how many are being transferred? It is 2. At the same rate. Rates will not change. So narration what I will give as being 2 pieces of Whirlpool washing machines transferred from location 2 to location 1 due to shortage of stock. Due to shortage of stock in location 1. Okay. So being 2 pieces of Whirlpool washing machines transferred from location 2 to 1 due to shortage of stock in location 1. So type the narration, and once you type the narration, we will pass the entry. Press enter and pass the entry. Now, if we go back and check the quantity available of Whirlpool washing machines, now we have transferred from location 2 to location 1 of the same. Now, if you want to make sure that will the quantity change or the quantity will remain the same, what we have to do is we can press the escape key, come back to the gateway of tally screen, and here you have the stock summary, right? So press stock summary, and over here you go to the washing machines. Yeah. So if you press enter on washing machines, can you see Whirlpool washing machines? What is the quantity it is being displayed? It is still 5 washing machines. So if you press enter on the same, you will come to know that in which godown the washing machines are being displayed. Yes. Okay. Right. So I'll show you the best way of viewing this current stock. What all of us can do is, from the gateway of Tally, please visit Display More Reports. From the gateway of Tally, you have at the reports side, you have Display More Reports. So select that, press enter. Yes. So on a Display More Reports, you have Statement of Inventory. I'm repeating it again. Under Display More Reports, you have Statements of Inventory. Press enter on Statements of Inventory. And here we have the first option of stock query. Okay, select the option of stock query, press enter. Now, which is the stock we have transferred from one godown or location to another location? It is Whirlpool washing machines. Yes, so this gives you a complete detail of every product or every stock item. Can you observe here? Name, under which group, what is the closing stock, the cost price, and on a default basis, Tally will always choose average cost method. This you have to know. Okay, it is an average cost method. And on the right hand side, if you observe, you have category, home appliances, the closing value, the standard selling price, and again the average price is the market valuation method. So here, if you observe, was the party involved for purchase of Whirlpool washing machines sold to Robin Electronics. And at the bottom, you can observe if we have created stock items under the similar category, they will also appear. And on the left hand side, you have the location or the godown details. So, can you observe here? My total amount of stock of washing machines remains 5, but out of 5 washing machines, 2 are there in location 1, 3 are there in 2. So can you make out here? Quantity remains the same, but the place of storage will change. Have all of you got the stock query screen? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you haven't got, let me know so that I can just show you. Okay? Right. So this is how we view that even though the place of storage change, the quantity remains the same. So you can just press escape key, come back to the gateway of tally. So this is how we use stock journal voucher. Okay. So again, repeat the this voucher is used to transfer the goods from one location to another location. The quantity of the stock remains the same, but the location of the godown changes. Okay. So as there is a shortage of stock in godown 2, company has transferred Whirlpool washing machines from one to godown. So value remains the same, but the place of storage changes. Now next we have is this physical stock voucher. Now a stock journal voucher is used for the transfer of stock from one godown to another godown. Now for what purpose is the physical stock voucher used? It is used for recording the actual stock which is verified or counted. It happens when the stocks in the books of accounts and the physical stock do not match. So what does it mean? Now let's have a small example for this. Now, coming back to the previous example, I had told that your family visited the showroom Chroma, for the purchase of Philips TV, 42 inches TV. And since it was running out of stock, the Philips TV was stock transferred from Kormangla branch to Jayanagar branch. Yes, this was the case. Now, in between, you know, a small step happens. What is it? Now, I would have ordered for the transfer of stock of two pieces of Philips TV from Kormangla outlet to Jayanagar. Okay, and for the same, I would have already passed a stock journal voucher recording the transfer of stock from Kormangla branch to Jayanagar branch. So entry is already been done. Now what happens is while transporting the stock from Kormangla to Jayanagar, unfortunately, a small accident happens, and then out of two TVs, Philips TV, one TV gets damaged. Now, can I sell the damaged goods to my customer in Jayanagar? No, that can't be done. So what do is, out of two Philips TV, I return one TV back. So I will receive only one TV at my place of business in Jayanagar. But this I wouldn't have made a record in my company's books of accounts, which is for us is tally. Now what happens is in my books of accounts, Philips TV is already showing two. But if I go for the stock verification in my go down, I see that there is only one TV, which means the go down quantity has to be equated with the quantity which is appearing in the books of accounts. So in go down, if it is appearing as one, Philips TV, in my books of accounts, that's in tally also. In my stock summary, it has to show one. Here it can't show 2 and in the go down it can't show as 1. That is when to correct the correct quantity of stock, exact quantity of stock what we have, okay, in the business premises, we record the physical stock voucher. So this is used for recording the actual stock which is verified or counted. Yes, it happens when the stocks in the books and the physical stock. So stocks in the book show me two Philips TV, but physically when I check, I go for the counting verification of stock, I find that there is only one TV. So when there's a mismatch between these two books of accounts and physical stock, it is then to correct this to make this correction, I go for a physical stock voucher because we cannot use any other voucher other than physical stock. Why? Purchase voucher is used meant for the purchase of inventory, sales for the sales of inventory, stock journal for the transfer of stock from one place to another place, and only physical stock voucher we can use for the correction of stock. So what is the functional key for a physical stock voucher? It is Control plus F7. So we start with F7. F7 becomes the journal voucher. Then we have Alt F7, which is a stock journal voucher. And then we have Control F7, which is a physical stock voucher. So if you go back in the initial classes where I taught you the mouse and the keyboard conventions, function key, Alt plus function key, and Control plus function key. So that's what in the same fashion we are recording here. F7, Alt F7, Control F7. So I've given a small exercise here. There was a physical verification done, and it was found that there were only, now how much we have transferred? We have transferred two washing machines. I'll just change the number as one here. Yes. So there was a physical verification done and found that there are only one number of Whirlpool washing machine in the godown. Now, how much we had made a stock transfer from two washing? We had five washing machines. Out of five, two were transferred to the godown or the location. But out of two, let's assume that one has got as I told in transit. So only one only has been received. So this has to be corrected in our books of accounts. So we'll go to the physical stock voucher. So let's go to the vouchers and we have Control F7. Yes, so this is how your physical stock voucher appears. Please press Control F7 to get the physical stock voucher. Over here, space bar, you get the list of stock items and you have Whirlpool washing machines. So select Whirlpool washing machines. Yes. Now the location, currently I have already recorded that there are two washing machines because there was a stock transfer made from location to location 1. But as I told in transit, one washing machine gets damaged because of unfortunately a small accident happens and out of two, one gets damaged. So what I have to do is I have to select the location where I've made a record that I've already received or there's a stock transfer of two numbers. Now here I have to correct that it is not two but only one. Okay. So I just need to make sure that currently in my go down or in my location there is only one number or one piece of Whirlpool washing machine. So from 2 I'll make it as 1. I'll correct it as 1. Okay. Press enter, enter, come back to the narration. So narration, how you'll give it as being go down quantity, stock verified, being go down quantity, stock verified and entered the same in the company's books of accounts. So being go down quantity, stock verified and enter the company's books of accounts. Or in the other way also you can give, being go down quantity and the quantity appearing in the company's books of accounts. Wait, anyhow balanced. Anyhow you can give it. Press accept. Now if we go back and check the stock query, what would have happened? So let's go back and check. Press escape key. Come back to the gateway of tallying screen. Over here, you have display more reports. Enter. You have statement of inventory, stock query, and here you have Whirlpool washing machines. Yes. So what has happened? If you check the location or the batch details, from 5 numbers of Whirlpool washing machines has turned to 4. So currently we are having 4 numbers of Whirlpool washing machines. So in location 1, previously it was showing as 2. Now it is showing as 1 only, and in location 2 it is as usual. We have 3 numbers of Whirlpool washing machines. Okay. So this is how it goes up. Yes, so this correction of stock takes place instantly and it gets corrected. Escape key and come back to the gateway of tallying screen. Now after physical stock voucher and the stock journal voucher, we move on to the next segment. Yes, GST supplies inclusive of taxes. Okay. Now this inclusive of tax, we find it usually in almost all the based commodities. Yes. Now whatever we purchase, it can be consumables, or medicines or any. When we check the rate, what it will be displayed as normally MRP inclusive of tax. Yes. So we see that rate and then we make the payment and we uh, purchase that particular product. Yes. So here, if it has been displayed as MRP inclusive of tax, which means the GST component is already included in the total value of the product. Yes, but this, how can we interpret? How can we get the clarity of this? It can be done in the Tally software. Now here I've given a small example. Company sold the following goods to NRT traders, Karnataka. What the company has sold? It has sold Dell computers. And how much? What is the quantity? How many pieces? Two numbers of Dell computers, and per Dell computer, it is 17,980. Okay, so this is the value per piece, 17,980. Now, at the bottom, I've given you a small note. If whenever we are recording supplies inclusive of tax, before we pass the entry, when we arrive at the sales voucher, we record the sales entry, uh, recording the sale of Dell computers to NRT traders. Before we pass the entry, we have to first press F12 configuration and we have to activate this feature. That is, set the option allow entry of rate inclusive of tax for the stock item as yes. This option has to be activated and then the entry needs to be passed. So let's pass the entry in the sales voucher recording the sale of Dell computers to NRT traders. Yes. So vouchers F8 sales voucher. So before I pass the entry, I have told us first we have to press F12 configuration. Up, show more configurations. Please activate it as yes. Okay. Again, show all configurations. Yes. So both have to be yes here. Show more configurations. Show all configurations. Okay. Now if you keep on pressing enter and come back to the right hand side. If you come to the right hand side, you have the bank details. Okay. But here in the tax details, can you see the feature here? Provide rate inclusive of tax for the stock items. Currently it is no. You have to activate this as yes. It is appearing under the tax details in the F12 configuration. The first feature. Provide rate inclusive of tax for the stock items as yes. So please activate it as yes. I hope all of you have got this feature. Once you make it as yes, you can press Ctrl A. Now, to which party Dell computers are being sold? It is NRT traders. So create a ledger in the name of NRT traders. Sundry debtors. Same. Bill by bill, yes. Call center, no. Press enter. Sales account. Now since it is intra-state sales, outward supply, we have to choose which feature here. It is sales taxable. Now press enter, select Dell computers, location. So how many are being sold here? Two pieces of, two numbers of Dell computers. And the inclusive of tax rate is 17,980. Okay. So I'll put the rate inclusive of tax as 17,980. Can you see now how it will show you without tax, exclusive of tax the rate? Now, if I'm selling MRP inclusive of tax of 17,980 per number of Dell computers, moment I press enter, it will show me the rate which is exclusive of tax. So both I'm having the inclusive column and the exclusive column. All of you are able to get this rate inclusive.
Yes, ma'am.
So press enter. Now, so here you can see here both rate inclusive of tax you have and rate exclusive of tax. Now here what you check out 30,474.58 paise. This is actually the gross amount for two pieces of Dell computers exclusive of tax. Okay, this is per piece inclusive, but this 30,474 is rate exclusive of tax for two numbers. So here, as usual, you have to put up CGST and SGST ledger so that you can get the total amount inclusive of tax for both the Dell computers. Don't There's no confusion here. Rate inclusive of tax it is showing as 17,980. That is for one Dell computer, one number of Dell computers, and next to that, what you're watching here in the rate column, it is rate exclusive tax again for one number of Dell computers. In the amount column, it is the aggregate value exclusive of tax for two pieces of Dell computers. Okay. So since it is exclusive of tax, we have to add the CGST and SGST since it is an intra-state outward supply. Once you put up CGST, SGST, you get a gross amount of 35,960, which is rate inclusive of tax. So press enter. Yeah, this is as usual. New reference. Name is NRT Traders. Due rate. Now NRT Traders agrees to pay. I would give a credit period of 5 days. So it agrees to pay by the end of the credit period. So being Dell computers sold. In brackets you can give as MRP value, maximum retail price. To NRT traders. This is how we give the narration. Being Dell computers sold on credit to NRT traders. That's on basis of MRP value. So once you give the narration, you can press enter. Accept. Yes. This is how we pass GST supplies inclusive of taxes. So I hope all of you have done with this entry. Now please make sure I have given a, you can assume it as a caution message or a compulsory message here. recording this transaction, which one? NRT traders, you have to go for a new sales voucher and immediately you have to deactivate this feature, what we activated to pass. That is set the option ROI entry of rate inclusive of tax for stock item as no. Why? Because in case if we are passing only MRP based entries, how we have passed right now for NRT traders, we need not deactivate the feature. Otherwise, for each and every entry what we pass, it will give a breakup of exclusive and inclusive of taxes. So what you can do as of now, you can just deactivate that feature. So what you have to do is, please, yeah. So here we have the new sales voucher. It's blank. So press F12 configuration and deactivate the feature of provide rate inclusive of tax for stock items as no. Yes. So we have to do it. Yes, so next we have is accounting of supply of services. So far we have discussed about the goods. Yes, whatever tax has been calculated, levied, entries are passed, it is all for the goods we have done. Yes, Dell computers, Logitech printers, then we have Agile pens, Vivo mobiles, IFB washing machines, so the list goes on. We have never spoken about the service. Now, what is the abbreviation of GST? Goods and Services Tax. So, what tax, of course, structure we have for goods? We also have one tax structure under GST for services as well. That's GST, SGST, and of course we have IGST as well. Now, here we have there is a small differentiation. Now, all of you would have observed that HSM code. Yes, I also gave an explanation for the same. HSM code is the naming system or the coding system for the goods. While if we talk about services, for services we have to give the SAC code. SAC stands for Service Accounting Code. So, after enabling GST in the company, one can record the inward and the outward supply of services using a purchase voucher for receiving services and sale of services using a sales voucher. So here I cannot, refer as I have purchased the services. I can only explain that I have received catering services, I have received advertising services. I can never use the word I have purchased services. It would not sound much good. So probably we use when we talk about services, we say we receive services. And suppose if we are a service provider, we always define it as we are providing services, rendering services, okay, or there's a sale of this particular service. So like this. Now how we have used the vouchers for goods, for the purchase and sale of goods, in the same way we are using the vouchers for purchase and sale of services. Now, when we are receiving services from a party, we use a purchase voucher, and when we are providing or entering services, we use a sales voucher. So, here we have in the exercise column, company provided advertising services of worth 5 lakh to Zenith Private Limited, Bangalore. Additional GST at 18% is charged on the invoice. So, my company or our company has provided advertising services. The total value of the services 5 lakh, probably for the promotion of the business, all kinds of advertisements, right? So, put together, the gross amount is 5 lakh. On that, the GST is at 18%, which has to be payable by Zenith. Now, this how can we portray in Tally? So, let's find out. Now, Currently, all of us are in which screen? We are in sales voucher. Yes. Now, in sales voucher, what is the format we are currently watching here? We have the party account, sales ledger, that's fine. But at the bottom, do we have name of the item, quantity, and rate? Yes, that is how we are looking at it. Now, is a service a stock item? No, it is a service. It is not a product or a commodity. So we can't use this particular screen, particular mode. In Tally, we have three modes. One, we have the voucher mode, we have the item invoice mode, and we have the accounting invoice mode. So I will take you through all the three modes before we process this entry. Now, at the vertical button bar, you have a feature called as change mode option. Yes, it is Control H, change mode option. So press Control H. Can you observe here? You have three modes in Tally. One is voucher mode, accounting invoice mode, and item invoice mode. Now, currently, what we were using for the purchase and sale of goods, carrying the name of the item, quantity, rate, discount amount, it was the item invoice mode. Okay. Now, if we switch back to the voucher mode as voucher mode, see what happens. What is it you're getting? You're getting debit and credit, which you used to get for the accounting vouchers like contra, payment, receipt, and journal. Yes. So all these four vouchers, which are they? Contra, payment, receipt, and journal, they only follow the voucher mode. Accounting or item invoice, both of them are not applicable for these four set of vouchers. Henceforth, they are called as pure accounting vouchers. Now again, if I press Ctrl H, change mode. Now from as voucher mode, I will shift to accounting invoice mode. Yes. So this is how the accounting invoice mode will be generated. So the same sales voucher is in the accounting invoice mode where we have the party account name and at the bottom we have particulars, rate and amount. So all of you are able to get the accounting invoice mode over here. Yes. Have you shifted from the item invoice mode to the accounting invoice mode in Tally under sales vouchers?
Yes,
So now we'll proceed with the entry. Now, advertising services have been provided to Zenith Private Limited. Yes. So what we'll do is party account name we will create as Zenith. So select the create option in the list of ledgers, Zenith Private Limited. Under sundry debtors, bill by bill, yes. Now, what you have to do is space bar, select the create option and create a ledger as advertising services. And this advertising service ledger, we are not creating under expense. It is not an ordinary expense. Here, we are making an assumption that our company is an advertising agency which is providing advertising services to Zenith. So, advertising services are direct income. It is sale of services. like how we created purchase account, sales account for the purchase and sale of goods. In the same way, we are creating a ledger as advertising services under the group of sales because we are rendering, providing, or selling the services, right? So please select sales account. Type of ledger not applicable, no cost center, GST applicable, set or alter GST. Please activate it as yes. So once you activate set or alter GST, you can move down to the description column. Yes, so here description, what can we give? But before that, let's venture out what is the SAC code for advertising services. Can you see here? For advertising services, it is chapter 99, then we have 8361. For purchase or sale of advertising space, space is different. Now, what you hear on the radios, right, where the advertising space is being given, as well as in the television, that's giving space or time. That's different. Sale of advertising space in the print media, like journals, magazines, newspapers. So, and sale of TV and radio advertising time. So, we'll take the first one, that is 8361 as the SAC code. So, can you see at the top? It is not given as HSN code, it is SAC code. So, we have a list of services and the respective SAC codes, which I will show you shortly after this entry, perhaps. So, we'll just enter the same. Okay, so description we can give it as advertising services. Non GST goods, no. Nature of transaction, it is sales taxable. We can give it as 18% as the GST rate. Type of supply, now you have to shift on from goods to services. Okay, press enter and accept the ledger. Now, what is the total amount of services being provided? It is 5 lakhs. Type 5 lakhs in the amount column. Space bar. So again choose sales taxable. Now CGST, SGST. New reference. Name Zenith Private Limited, in whose name the bill is being generated. Due date. Now, in case of Zenith Private Limited, will make a payment within a period of 7 days or after 7 days credit period. It can be taken as where I am allowing a credit period of 7 days. So, being advertising services provided to Zenith on credit, subject to GST at 18%. So, being advertising services provided to Zenith on credit subject to 18% GST. So, press enter and accept yes. Right. So now we have to receive 5,90,000 from Zenith Private Limited, making an assumption that the 7 days have passed by. So it is the time to receive the payment. So how did we settle the bills earlier in all the previous session? We had been to Alt G, that is the go-to option, right? And receivables and payables report, letter outstandings, Zenith. Yes, so here we go to Alt B, that is bill settlement option. So choose the bank account being payment received towards the advertising being payment received towards advertising services provided. Okay, like this you type the narration. Press enter. So now you're navigated to the received voucher. Enter, enter. So in case if Zenith is giving a check, give his check details. First of April, bank name probably HDFC Bank. Pass the narration. Yes. So now if we see there are no outstandings on part of Zenith. Okay, we have received the complete payment. Yes. Press escape key and we'll come back to the sales voucher. Now let's venture out the SAC code list of services. Okay. I think it is taking some time. Probably we'll get this at a SAC code list. Yes, so can you make out here? Yes, so we have the complete SAC code list here. Yes, at the top, if you can observe, SAC codes under. Now for advertising agency, we have SAC codes, air transporter, air travel agency, architect services. Can you see here? For chartered accountants, cable operators, clearing and forwarding agencies. So you have a list of SAC codes displayed here. So wherever you can see, you have a 6 digit. So how I've explained you, chapter 44, subchapters 2 zeros, and we have a heading. So like that we go for it. Okay. So there's a huge list of SAC code. This is actually HSN codes under GST. Okay. And this was for SAC codes for services. I hope it's clear now for you. HSN or SAC codes are being given. Yes. So how many chapters we have totally? Chapter 98 for goods. Okay. So that is the last chapter. which we have, and after that we have the SAC code list. Right. Now, coming back to the vouchers. Right. So, as of now, we have cleared with accounting of supply of services, where we have dealt with the service-based entry. Now, subsequent to the same, let's talk about the exempted services. Now, exempted services are the services which are not subject to tax. Yes, there is no tax rate applicable against these services. An exempt supply means any goods, services, or both which attracts nil rate of tax, there is nil in the column, or that may be wholly exempt from tax, including a non-taxable supply. Thus, exempt supply includes the supply of the following types of goods or services. So we have three variants here. The moment we categorize a particular product or a particular service as exempted, what all it includes. This exempt supply considers what all. We have supplies attracting nil rate of tax. So nil doesn't mean it is like zero. Zero is also rate of tax. Nil means a dash. Or be given as a nil. That's it. So supplies wholly exempt from tax. Okay, so example you can take as dairy products. You have milk, curd, buttermilk, paneer, and all that. But again, here there is a small condition. If any loose packets of paneer or butter, which is not branded, right? If they are being purchased, it is wholly exempt from GST. But in case branded dairy products are being purchased, like we have Milky Mist, we have Amul Paneer, cheese, and all that, so they carry tax. And last one we have is this non-taxable supplies. So all these fall under the group of exempt supplies under GST. So one of the main one here which I've given as an example is agricultural services. Okay. Yes. Now again to say the complete agricultural service, of course, I can say around in form of percentage, almost like 95% is exempted. But here or there, certain fields under agricultural services may be taxable, but almost agricultural services is an exempt service. So based on that only, I'll give an example here. Company has provided agricultural services to KK Farms for 50,000, and this service is exempted from GST. Absolutely. Now, the company has provided agricultural services for 50, and this exemption, how it has to be shown in tally. Now, when the company is providing agricultural services, it is in the nature of sale. As I told, sale of services, rendering services. So, if we are creating a ledger as agricultural services, it has to be created under the group of sales account. Okay, and in that when we go for the GST, please make sure the description will be given as agricultural services. Nature has to be sales exempt because again here GST is not implemented. So let's go for the one. We are already in the sales voucher. Now party account, it is KK Farms. So create under list of ledgers, sundry debtors, spacebar, create agricultural services. Under sales account. Type of ledger not applicable, cost center no. Yes, here you have to be careful. GST applicable, set or alter GST, yes. So here if you give description, yes, agricultural services. Now if we check it for the SAC code for agricultural services, what can be the SAC code here? Let's check out for the SAC code for agricultural services. Yes. 9986. It is 9986 as a minimal code. If you have the further support services, it will further like 99861 and all that. As of now, you can just take it as 9986. So 9986 under HSN or SAC. Non-GST, no, it is exempt. So is non-GST goods? Please retain it as no itself. Nature of transaction, you have to choose as sales exempt. Choose sales exempt. And see, moment we choose sales exempt, we have type of supply directly, okay? Where we are not going back to the rate. Right? Moment we give sales exempt, what happened? It didn't let me to go to the GST rate. Yes. So it came directly back to the ledger creation. So that type of supply we have services. Yes. So what's the total amount of it's 50,000. Here you have to choose sales taxable. And here if you try to give CGST, it will not take. Why? Because it is exempt. That's all it's saying. So here you can choose new reference and name, of course, the client is KK Farms. Due date, any number of days, here I've given as 3 days, and give the narration as being agricultural services rendered or provided on credit. Being agricultural services rendered on credit to KK Farms. Brackets, if you want, you can give as exempt supply. So the supply of services also we have seen taxable supplies, we have seen exempt supplies. Yeah. So we have seen both the categories here. So please pass the entry if you haven't done. Let's make sure that we have passed the uh, entry for say special services, be an exempt supply. Yes. So I hope all of you have passed the entry for KK Farms.
Yes, ma'am.
So in today's session, we have done a considerable coverage. We have seen different variants under GST apart from the usual purchase and sales vouchers, right? So in the next sessions, we will carry on with a couple of vouchers, learning new concepts under each of the, okay? So I hope there is no doubt. If you have any, you can raise your question or we can close the session for the day. Please keep your practice consistent in Tally. So we'll meet up in the next session. Until then, practice whatever you have done so far. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Ma'am,
Yes,
ma'am,
yes tell me, Anshika.
ma'am, can you please send the recordings which are remaining?